Okay, everyone, thanks for joining. And just to give you a quick introduction, Nemaska Lithium is a vertically integrated hard rock project. We are located in Quebec. Both the mine as well as the chemical plant is being built under construction right now in Quebec, Canada. The plan will be to mine about 1 million tons of ore up in Nemaska. We'll concentrate it into just over 200,000 tons of concentrate at 6.25%. Truck that down to Chibougamau, where it gets put on a train and railed to Shawinigan. And in Shawinigan, we'll process that concentrate into 23,000 tons of lithium hydroxide, 11,000 tons of lithium carbonate. This is, we are in construction, so I put in some photos here to give you a sense of where we are in the construction. Right now, the mine is targeting to be in production the second half of 2019. We'll be producing concentrate, and for about a year, the mine will take about a year longer than the chemical plant, and so we've got about a year interim period there where we actually have a sellable product in the form of a lithium concentrate. So we're going to be selling that, that concentrate to the Chinese, and we've already signed a contract for that. So that contract, so we should start generating revenue the last half of 2019. So we'll be ramping up the mine through 2020. So you can see in those sites, it's just some construction that's ongoing right now. The concentrator building's been erected. The administrative offices are there. We've got, we're doing some work outside the concentrator building to install the crusher pads, and then as well inside the concentrator we're putting up the steel infrastructure to be able to move the equipment in and out, and then as well doing the pouring the concrete. So it's a lot of bricks and mortar type work up there right now, but we are on schedule and on budget at Whabouchi. This is Shawinigan, so this is the electrochemical plant. So in the green is the commercial facility that we'll be installing our equipment in. We bought this facility from the city of Shawinigan. It's a former pulp and paper mill. We purchased it for $2 million, so saved us about $40 million on our CapEx, which was a nice savings. The city cleared the lot for us and emptied it out of the pulp and paper equipment. So the commercial facility is ready for us to start installing our equipment. The phase 1 plant was started in 2017, and we've been producing lithium hydroxide from that phase 1 plant. So far, we've delivered about 100 tons of battery-grade lithium hydroxide to one of our offtake partners, which is Johnson Matthey. As you can see, we're located in Quebec, so hydroelectricity is not a problem. And we're right next to Hydro-Quebec electrical dam. Just one more thing about the phase 1 plant that I did want to tell you is that we'll be using that as well to send out samples. So in the lithium space, you have to qualify your product with end users, and so the purpose of the phase 1 plant really is to qualify our lithium hydroxide with our prospective end users and customers. So that period typically takes 12 to 24 months, qualification period. So Johnson Matthey has started to qualify us. In a couple of months, we'll be sending out lithium hydroxide monohydrate to other customers, and we'll be starting the qualification period with them as well. This to give you a sense of what the quality is that we're producing at Nemaska Lithium. So our hydroxide is coming in at 57.5%. So it's actually a higher quality product than is currently on the market right now. So this is representative of the 100 tons that we've sent to Johnson. We've had it tested, and this is our spec. You can see we've listed all the elements that a cathode producer or battery manufacturer would be looking at and concerned with, and we've put the market specifications, which is basically the high and low range of existing producers, and then we've listed where Nemaska comes in, and you can see that we are well below or within the acceptable market spec. Our economics. So we've got a 33-year mine life. The NPV on the project, after we take into account our project financing, which I'll review in a second, is $2.2 billion. And again, when we take into account our Our project financing, our IRR is 56%. This is where we fit on the cost curve. So you'll hear quite often that, hard rock projects are more expensive than brines. And in our view, I think it's because we've never really compared a hard rock project, vertically integrated hard rock project before. The fact that we own the concentrate is what gives us one of our major cost advantages. So we own the mine 100%. And when you consider that it takes about 7.5 tons of concentrate to make 1 ton of finished product, you get to understand very quickly how important it is that you actually own your own concentrate. So right now, other hard rock projects are buying, they're buying product from the Chinese, and they're paying a hefty margin for their concentrate. And then when you take into account that you've got to multiply that by 7.5 times, you can see where how important it is to actually control your own source of lithium. And this is where we would come in on carbonate. So carbonate is a second process for us. So we produce hydroxide first, and carbonate is our second product. So there is a bit of extra cost to produce the carbonate, but still we're very competitive. Our project financing. So we just closed 1.1 billion Canadian. And I'm sorry, there's different currencies up here, but on the equity side, the equity was done. SoftBank came in. They took 94 million. They did a private placement of 94 million Canadian, gave them 9.9% of the company. Resources Quebec, which is the investment arm of the Quebec province, they came in with a private placement of 80 million Canadian. That now, I think Resources Quebec is about 14% shareholder. And then the balance of it was done on a bought deal basis, led by Bank of Montreal, National Bank, and Cantor Fitzgerald. We also did a streaming transaction. We raised 150 million US. We did that with Orion, and then we did 350 million US through a secured senior bond. That's a listed bond. It's listed on the Norwegian exchange, and there's an 11.25% coupon on it with a 5-year term. On the bottom there, you can see the use of proceeds, and so even though it's 1.1 billion, the money is pretty well already all accounted for. So it's very important, obviously, that we track to budget and to timeline. So this is where we are. This is our construction schedule. So as I said, at the mine, we expect to be in production the end of 2019, so starting to generate revenue through 2020. And then the electrochemical plant is scheduled to come online the end of 2020. So at that point, we will stop selling the concentrate and start shipping 100% of our concentrate down to Shawinigan for transformation into the battery salts, hydroxide and carbonate. This is where we are in terms of our budget as at September 1. We spent about 30% roughly of the budget. I think interestingly, we're tracking to budget, both at Whabouchi and at Shawinigan. At Whabouchi, about 70% of our capital equipment budget has already been purchased, which means we have a purchase order, we have a delivery estimate from our supplier, and a firm price. And likewise, in Shawinigan, we've got about 50% of our budget already committed on the capital equipment side. So we have a good handle on the timing as well as on the budget. I'll just quickly go over our offtakes. So we have 4 offtakes. One is with Johnson Matthey, very large multinational company making cathodes in both Quebec as well as the UK. FMC, an existing producer. LG Chem, we signed these 2 this year. So LG Chem, who many of you know, and I'm sure need no introduction. And then Northvolt. Northvolt is a Swedish gigafactory, very similar to what Tesla would be building in Nevada. And that takes us to the end of the presentation. As you can see, we're in construction. We expect to be in the market with product concentrate at the end of 19 and battery chemicals 2020. Thank you.